Okay, now what I have here is, well, let's close the generic macros, okay? And what this video is going to be about is a proof of some items in the discounted cash flow model. Now, I'm going to start with a very simple proof. Then we'll go to deferred taxes, not such a hard proof. Then we'll go to deferred taxes from a net operating loss, a very much trickier issue. Then we'll go to issues like how to treat the fair value of derivatives that are generated from a swap transaction that increases in value, or an option that decreases in value. That gets much more complicated. And then I'll try to think of some other more complicated issues and how do we treat these, and we'll have separate little files. And if you're in project finance, you're going to say, oh shit, I don't care about this stuff. But these are the kind of things people sit around arguing about when they make discounted cash flow analysis. Now I'm getting yelled at by everybody. I'm repeating this stupid little message. I'm getting yelled at. Oh, turn the video off. Don't give these things for free. Blah, 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 blah. I've got about 2 users on my stupid little thing anyway. I'm going to keep doing this, but I wish you'd consider a class or my Skype product or something like that. Okay, here goes. So let's put some assumptions. So let's Shift Control plus a couple of times. Okay, use the mouse for something. I am not anti-mouse like some of these crazy idiots. Put assumptions, and let's put let's start with our EBITDA, revenues. Okay, and let's just make a simple 100. Oops, let's put a couple. Okay, and let's put 100 here, and then let's put a growth. So let's put a 4% growth. Now, if I press Shift Control P, it did work. Sure. And then let's put a margin, and let's say the margin is only 10%. Okay, maybe that's a lot for you. I don't know. Okay, and then we'll put AP percent. Okay, and let's say that's 2 months. So 2 divided by 12, 16.67%. The reason I retyped it in is, okay, and I think that's it. And then, oh, we need a WACC. Let's say it's 5%, because I think a high WACC is such a ridiculous thing. Okay, and we're going to demonstrate the obvious thing, that you need to put the accounts receivable in the cash flow. Now, am I recording? I am recording. Okay, so excuse me for this. Okay, and then let's put revenues, and let's maybe we put this and this, just so we're a little bit transparent. Shift Control C, remember, to show what's input, and let's just put this here. And then some people would yell at me for putting a different assumption in this one, but what the hell. And then Shift Control R, Shift Control 1. That's why the Shift Control R is so important. And then we put expenses. Okay, and then our expenses are driven by the margin. And what we do is we take the revenues times 1 minus the margin. I didn't need this. Okay, and then we put accounts payable. Okay, and then we our accounts payable are this percent. Okay, and so they're the expenses times the accounts payable percentage. Shift Control R. I can do this one by one. Okay, and now let's put this and call this one Shift Spacebar, and we're going to call this the true value. Okay, now if we take the true value, if we want the real cash flow we're getting, let's also, why don't we put value a model start. Let's make the model start in year 5. Shift Control 1 5. I hate that. And let's put the valuation start and make this a little wider, and let's make the valuation start in year 10. Okay, and what we need to do for this, let's put a timeline. Okay, and let's put our model period, and our model, how about a historic period first? Okay, and we start with 0. Whoops, maybe we can put it here. Start with 0, and then go to this. So we put a AND statement and go up to this, and it's less than, greater than, or equal to, so wait, and let's press the F4 key a couple of times and make that greater than or equal to this one. Press F4 3 times, and always go up to the timeline. F4 twice is less than or less than, and we press F4 3 times. And Shift Control R, for some reason we had this, we can press Shift Control C to redo this. So then the model period starts with 5, and it goes to the valuation period, and the valuation period starts with period 10, and then goes to the maximum of this. Okay, and we can press Control D, Shift Control R. We can press then Shift Control T, Shift Control F. Whoops. Shift Control F. So we can see which period we're in, and I have a problem here. Model period has to be, H3 has to be greater than or equal. Oh, that's right. So okay, so we're just gonna start. We're gonna kind of simulate this. Now, if we take our true cash flow, now the way we actually pay the accounts payable, we can put expenses paid. Now that's the key thing, is the amount of expenses we actually pay here. If this is an annual model, so we pay this one, well, we have to go to this year. The amount of expenses we actually pay are the expenses we book minus the stuff we didn't book, plus the stuff we have to pay from the last period. So that's a little bit different. And then the true cash flow is, we can start with this one, is the revenues we collected. I'm not putting any accounts receivable in here, minus the expenses we paid. And now if we want the valuation, okay, we can put our cash flow for valuation Okay, and our cash flow for valuation is simply if this valuation period is true, let's take this one. So it's very, very important to use a false, not a true in here. Okay, well, yes, it'll give the valuation at this one, this period. If we put zeros, it would give us the valuation today. So if we want the valuation at this period at our valuation date, then we do this and we put valuation. Okay, and we put equal NPV and go up to our WACC and we click on the entire thing. So that's our true valuation. Now, let's pretend, some people have said, well, shouldn't we model accounts payable as debt? It's not really different than any other debt. So why don't we'll make valuation with accounts payable as debt. Okay, now if we do that, here's what we would do. Over the model period, we'll go to the model period, and the first thing we can do is compute our EBITDA. Okay, and our EBITDA is this minus expenses. Okay, and this time we don't want to really go to the whole thing, so what we'll do is take this one times the model. It's either the historic period or the whoops, of course, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so we just turn things off. This just turns it, and then we have our. Now what we have is we actually let's just take what we're going to do is just take a modeling period. So just if the historic period, if the modeling period is true, take the revenues minus the expenses. Excuse me for doing the last thing. Okay, so we have this is our period. Okay, and in fact, if you would like to just show the modeling period, we can put this, and I think this is okay. And then you just what you do is you go to conditional formatting. So you go to home and you can go to conditional formatting, and you make a new rule. And on the new rule, okay. Uh-oh. Okay, shit. Just a minute. Why can't I, I'm just having trouble getting up here. Oh, shit. Okay, just a minute. Okay, actually it would be better to do it like this. Let's just make a modeling period here, and then go to home. Am I recording? Yes. And then we go to conditional formatting and go to new rule, and we'll use a cell to format. Now, why can't it seems that if I have this one, okay, oh, I guess I have to do this. Now, it's very important that you start with, well, in this case, you just click on this one. Oh, shit. What happened to our conditional formatting? This is ridiculous. Pissing me off. It's so easy. You always go down to use a formula. And the formula you use is just press the F on this one. And we're just going to make this when it's true. All right? I've got that. And let's just format it with a, I don't know, some kind of thing like this. Okay, yellow, fine. Okay, so that's That's our forecasting period. What a waste. Sorry about that. Now, what we can do is, if we value the company like this, what we'll do is put the EBITDA in, and then we'll go to the terminal period value, and the terminal value. Let's put two things in here. We need the WACC. Oh, and the growth rate is pretty high. I'm going to make the WACC 6% and the growth rate 3%. Okay, so that's enough. So our value now is this. And I think what we need is, we also need a terminal period. Why don't we put a terminal period? Okay, and that's just, we just put an equal sign, and that's just our last year of our forecast. So in that one, it's simply this number equal to this one. Okay, and so we just have a true right here. And why don't we, let's make this equal, excuse me, and let's make this one, no, and let's, okay. And I made a little error here. This cash flow for let's include the model period in our analysis. Excuse me for that. Okay, so we have this, and we're just going all the way. Now we're going to take the model period and compute a terminal period. So on the terminal value, just put we'll just take the terminal period. And then we're going to, now, if we had a change in the growth rate, this wouldn't work. But we take the 1 plus the growth rate divided by the WACC minus the growth rate times the terminal period. Oh, I already did the terminal period. How about Shift Control 1, Shift Control R? So that's our, is that the, hang on. and where did I multiply that? Hang on. H17 times, of course, the H32. I don't know why I did this. Okay, and after we have the terminal value, sorry for going okay, then we put less. Okay, let's put PV, let's put explicit cash flow. Okay, so what we need to do is take a if it's the valuation period, then we take this plus this, and we just simply leave it to go to false if it's the model period. Then we take this plus this. Okay, and this video is taking too long. This should have really been this should have been the terminal period, long-term period. Okay, and then we now if we take the PV of EV, we put equal NPV and take this one, and we take this one. Now this is a key concept. If you have falses here, it'll take the NPV just up to the same thing. So now, if we had the accounts payable percent as 0, we get exactly the same thing. But now we put the accounts payable, let's say at 20%, then we get a different answer. Now, if you would really believe that accounts payable is debt, then you put less AP at valuation. And unfortunately, let's put a damn valuation period here. So valuation date. So that's just in period 5. So we just put an equal this, equal F4, Shift Control R, and then we get we'll just take the accounts payable that we have at the valuation date. Okay, and Shift Control R, and then what happens then is we have net value, which is this minus the sum of the oh, come on, it's this minus the sum of this, and shift, I don't know. We get a completely wrong answer. Okay, in fact, you can see it should be added. Now let's put valuation with accounts payable as FCF, and then we start with our EBITDA, so we'll do the same kind of thing. Sorry, this took me a little bit long. I haven't done this for so long. We take the EBITDA, and then we have add changes in working capital. And now the working capital, where we put accounts payable here, and let's put accounts payable increase, and we just, I think, can I do this? No. Okay. Okay. The accounts payable increase is just this minus this. Excuse me. Ugh, stupid. Okay, and then so then we'll do another thing. If it's the valuation period, model period, then we take the accounts payable change. Okay, Shift Control 1, and then we can put net free cash flow. Okay, and our free cash flow is this minus this plus this, because, okay, if we better put if it's the model period. The reason we need to do that is because this minus okay, and then we put our terminal value, and we put I think this time we can just add it. It's not well, if it's a model period, then you take the free cash flow, multiply it by, let's put the two things here. Okay, same thing. This one and this one. And if it's I'll do this. Let's just take the terminal period times the free cash flow times 1 plus the growth rate divided by the WACC minus the growth rate, and shift control 1, shift control R. So now we have total cash flow, and the total cash flow is, if it's the model period, this is really the only time we needed it actually, it's this, okay, and that, remember we need this, so then it just, to restate, it just only takes the valuation through this. So total cash flow is if it's this plus net cash flow. Okay, so it just doesn't include this in the PV calculation. And now we have net value. And let's put, I should put that here, equal NPV tab, this one, 406, which is exactly equal to the true value, and we've just proven something that you already know. You already know this, but establishing a system that makes a proof is going to be so very important, because we'll use the same system to prove all kinds of other things, okay? And maybe I should have put this, and we're going to need later on, we're going to need a historic period that works through the value of the swap or the value of the deferred tax, so we can, and then we'll go from the historic period to the model period and see what's the right technique. There is a theoretically right answer for so many of these DCF questions, and that's what we're going to prove in a bunch of these videos. And if all you people are project finance people, turn it off. I don't care. Give me a thumbs down. Who gives a shit? Okay, here, that's enough of the video.